Okay. Hello. Please come right in. Thank you for coming in. I will be right with you. Just getting everything set up. Good evening, everybody. How you guys doing? Let's see what's going on. I've got a good connection, which I'm surprised because we have a severe tornado watch. So, let me just say, if for some reason I lose the internet or power, probably won't lose power, but the internet may go out, and if it does, I am going to just make a video about the things that I want to talk about tonight and some of the questions that I received, emails from and subscribers, and you can tune in later, okay? This is allergy season for me. A lot of pollen, especially cottonwood. Some people call it dogwood, but you know, we just have to deal with it. It's just a part of life. I'm looking forward to talking to you guys tonight. You guys know I don't hardly ever go anywhere or put some lipstick on since the pandemic, so I look forward to a little glamour on Monday night. I've been going to church online, shopping online, and even though I received both of my vaccinations, I'm still very careful about where I go and that type of thing. Still practice all of the guidelines from the CDC. So let me get in here and welcome some people. Now, the first person in my chat is Miss Quinny's Playroom. Thank you for being here. The second person in the chat is Denise Backyard Garden. Hello. And the third person in the chat is Aunt Tia, one of my moderators. So I hope I don't disappoint anybody, but I'm not going to be playing that number game again because everybody comes in at a different time. But today, I decided that game that I used to play when I was a cosmetology educator worked well in person, but not on the internet. Okay? So today, the lucky winners will be the first 3 people in the chat. Next week, it might be number 5 through 7. Or maybe the 25th person in the chat. I will be rotating it like that. God put that on my heart to do it that way. So the first 3 lucky winners today are the first people that showed up in my news feed. And when you go back and you look at the replay, you'll see that these names come up first. Again, it would be Miss Quinny's Playroom, Denise's Backyard Garden, and Aunt Tia. I have Aunt Tia's address, email address. I better not say that. Everybody, please email me your mailing address to LadyCherylsNaturalProducts at gmail.com. And Tia, I would very much appreciate it if you would put that up so that they can link it. And you guys are going to receive my romance novel sooner or later. It's a very easy, lighthearted read that deals with everyday issues like baby mama drama, obesity in the workplace, discrimination, health issues and challenges. A lot of people in my family inspired me to read the book, but once you read it, it's a suspense, romance suspense. I don't want you to think that it really happened, but I named all of the characters after people I love. Some of them have passed on, so you'll get a chance to see or read my creative thoughts and process, and I will snail mail you those books once I get your address. And for those of you that wonder what I do with the super chats that people give me, I use it for postage. Okay? And then some of you, out of the goodness of your heart, sent me super chats and cash app me and PayPal me money for when I lost all of those trees in the, I call it the polar Arctic freeze devastation. Because we got down to 3 degrees. So I lost a lot of trees, but God blessed me. And if you've been following me, you know that all of those mature banana plants, some of them were over 20 feet tall. And then I chopped them down to about 5 feet during the winter. But you'll know they all froze over. But they gave birth to children, and I have a lot of more baby pups than I started out with. And I know that it'll take a couple years for them to get mature, but I am so blessed and I feel so pleased. So those 3 people, please email me, and I'm going to tell you something else about that freeze too. That was such a blessing. Blessed too, hello. Thank you for being here. Hello, Ladybug Palmer. Thank you. Angela. Angela Bowden is in the house. Thank you. Kenya Smith is here. Lion Crest Outdoors. Hey. And I'm doing really good. I have some allergy issues, but I'm doing fabulous. Health-wise, I'm telling you all, you can do what you need to do if you have challenges like me. I don't like to talk about it a whole lot, but I'm going to tell you this. You guys know I had surgery, so I have part of my thyroid removed, and it damaged my vocal cords. That's why I don't sing like I used to. But I'm still blessed. I can get out some notes when I have to. And then I have high blood pressure. I have kidney disease, and I'm predisposed to all of this stuff. My father was on dialysis. My brother had a kidney transplant. You know, it runs in my family. But I'm working on doing everything I can. Another thing is I'm pre-diabetic. That's why I'm always talking about natural water, because I have to drink a gallon of water a day. So I'm always talking about sparkling water with only natural essence, no sugar, no sodium. And I have a couple other challenges, but I keep it moving. I grow the majority of my food in my food forest, and I preserve it. I can it, either pressure can, water bath can, dehydration, freezing. This year looks like it's going to be one of the best years ever for my fruit harvest. I'm just praying that the fruit holds on, because we have very high winds in Texas, and a lot of the fruit is dropping. But the stronger the tree gets and the more mature the tree is, it will hold on to more fruit. So I'm looking forward to being able to water bath can some fruit in nothing but water, so that I can just enjoy the fruit the way God intended us to. And if I put anything in it at all, it would be a little monk fruit sweetener, and that's a natural sweetener. Because if you have kidney disease, you cannot be doing Splenda, Equal, Sucrose, Sacrose, or any other little name that they give it. They'll say no sugar on the container, but then you read it, you'll see aspartame and all this other stuff. Your body cannot digest it, so it goes to your kidneys, and it contributes to the decline of the stage of kidney disease that you have. I have stage 3. I've had stage 3 kidney disease for 13 years. Okay? So, I don't know why I got into all of that, guys, but I did. So, let me keep on talking and making everybody feel welcome. I don't know if I said Andrea Lucas from Tacoma, Washington is here. Brown Barbley. Hey, Brownlee, Miss Barb, good to see you. Let me see if I missed anybody else. Debbie Epps is in the house. Joyce L. Moore is here. Gardner 99, thank you for coming in. Ms. Nene is here, or 99, I think it's Nene, is here. Ann Dale from Homestead in the Colony. I just love your voice. You got one of those voices that seem like you were in broadcasting or something. It's just so beautiful. I love to listen to you speak. Hands in the dirt, always doing fabulous things. Thank you. I love to watch your videos, Hands in the Dirt. If you got some seeds, put it in the dirt. I love it. Yankee Sister is in the house. So Good Gardner is here. And for those of you that are just coming in, let me just say to you, we had a tornado watch. If I lose internet, I'm going to sit right here using my monitor, and I'm going to go over everything that I plan to answer questions tonight and give you some tips that can help you in your garden. Okay. Yes, Ann, I'm very sincere. I don't just make up compliments and give them to people. That ain't my way. You have a very, very professional voice, and I love it. Latanya Lewis is here. That's right, and I've been in stage 3. Yes, for 5 years. Yes, we have to stick together, Latanya, just because we are predisposed to certain diseases. It doesn't mean that we have to succumb to them. Okay? We know it runs in our family, so we take precautions. Will I ever drink a soda? Yes. Maybe a couple times out of the year on vacation. But mostly all I drink is water. Crystal Pets and Plants is in the house. And I'm not sure if I spoke to Unicorn Lady Tech. No, I don't think I did. Latanya, thank you for speaking up. You know, a lot of us don't want to admit our health issues because they think people will see us as being weak. I don't see it that way. 1 in 4 women today will get breast cancer. I'm a survivor. I had breast cancer in 1992. I tell people about it. Take care of yourself, examine. I caught my own little tumor. Caught it in the very first early stages. And so I was one of the first women in Dallas County that went through the experimental treatment of having a lumpectomy. And that's when they take the little tumor out and tissue surrounding the tumor to see if it has been invaded. And to make sure that surgeons are just not giving unnecessary surgeries to people, they had to send that specimen off to a laboratory in California so that they could certify that the cancer was contained. Because years ago, you just took the word of the surgeon and they mutilated a lot of people. And I'm not saying anybody that had a mastectomy is mutilated. Please don't think I meant that. I'm just saying they just gave people surgeries at random just to make money. But I did the experimental treatment, and then I did the radiation treatment and the chemotherapy. And that's what I know what it's like to go bald. I know how that feels, even though my situation was medically induced and I grew my hair back, but it never grew back the same way. So I'm very compassionate for women, especially women who have some type of alopecia, whether it is senilla or male pattern baldness or alopecia areata, baldness in spots. That's my calling. I thought it was for me to be a writer. And so I wrote the hair care book. I wrote the romance book. I'm working on a sequel to the romance book. And I do that in my part-time. Okay? But my calling, I realized, was hair and skincare. Because you've been through it. You have the cosmetology background. You worked in the laboratory along with the chemists who formulated products. I didn't formulate them. I tested them. So I worked in the research and development lab. And then when I had the thyroid surgery, what, about 6 years ago, and I had to retire, all of that was connected to the breast cancer. Because I had the thyroid surgery, you lay back and you put your hand up in the air in this machine and they put it all down on you and it triggered growth in this area with my thyroid and my parathyroid. And I'm not going to talk too much more about it tonight, and I won't talk about it again for a while. But everything that you experience in life, sometimes you don't understand why it happens. God is lining up experience for you to go through, for him to use you in the way that you were destined or your purpose in life is supposed to be. I hope I'm making sense to you, okay? I hope I'm making sense, that I'm getting through to you that if you go through some health challenges, don't think, whoa, why did it happen to me? Blah, 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 blah. Think about, why did it happen to me? What am I supposed to be gaining? What am I supposed to be learning from this experience? And I know Lady Cheryl's Products is the ultimate reason why I went through all of that. Okay. All right. Okay, so now I'm going to go back and I'm going to pick up where I left off. And that was with Latanya sharing with her stage 3 kidney disease too. Yes. Okay. And I spoke to Crystal. I spoke to Hands in the Dirt. And you all are speaking to each other. We have 6 likes, but only 53 people watching. Only 6 likes and 53 people watching. So Auntie is asking y'all to please click that like button. And I appreciate it. Survivors are warriors. That's right, Ann. More people speaking to each other. So good, Gardner. Thank you for being here and saying amen. Lady Cheryl, Yankee sister, utilize your gifts. That's just like, okay, my daughter is happily married. She's been married for 15 years. And she didn't do a lot of dating in high school or college. And I know she doesn't mind me telling you all this. So while she was in college, I'm getting my little refresher. She dated this guy briefly, and he told her, I know you're smarter than you act. And she came in the house that night and she told me what he had said. I said, be yourself. Don't never dumb yourself down for someone else's intellectual level. That guy was telling you that he knew you were very intelligent and you were very smart and you were playing a little dumb. Don't do that. Be yourself. And this is going to lead to the most emails that I got within the last 2 weeks. I've gotten, how can I start my YouTube channel? What should I do? I'm beginning to do videos, and I got all my little notes on my other monitor here. And the number one answer is be yourself. I'm trying to think of who said it. I know it was now, Sha-Na-Na. Check her channel out. Wonderful YouTube content creator. She said she loved the way I say, okay, all right. Do you know that I didn't know that I frequently say that until she pointed it out to me in the comments. I love your new theme song. I may be putting 2 comments, the 2 different videos together, but I don't think I am. Sometimes I have a tendency to do that. And she said, I love your theme. Grow your own, eat your own. It's not hard. You can do it. And she says, I love when you say, okay, all right. I didn't know I was doing that. But That's good, because it's probably something that I've been doing when I was lecturing beauty college, through that career phase of my life. So that comes natural. When I finish out a statement or a segment or a point that I'm trying to get you to get the light bulb to go off, I say, okay, all right, let me show you something else. So, to answer the question of those of you that asked me how to start your YouTube channel, it is this. And I've already said it. Say it with me. Y'all can type it in. Be yourself. Don't try to act like anybody else. Research the information that you are giving out as facts. And if you haven't researched it and you just imitating someone else, people are going to know. They're going to recognize the things that you say that you imitated or copied someone else. I close my videos by saying, I love you guys, and and y'all write it down. God loves you too. Then I started watching people's video, and they started saying, I don't have a monopoly on the words. I know that. But you come up with your little natural sayings, your closing. Hey, everybody, Lady Cheryl here. Welcome to my YouTube channel. I say it all the time. You don't say, hello, everybody, this is Gaga. Welcome to, you find your own little niche. That's how you be a good content creator. Now, the other thing I want to tell you is avoid conflict. Have you all seen some of the YouTube wars that are going on? It's totally ridiculous. Grown people going back and forth, fighting over and ignore it. Rise above it. Don't imitate anybody else's challenge or war. Don't take away anything bad or good and try to duplicate it, because you just wear yourself out. People have so many little different things that they do in their video, you don't know what to watch. So be consistent. If you don't, I'm gonna bring up somebody. My nephew, Broke Farmer 76. That's his name, Broke Farmer. I just call him nephew. He had a wonderful little video on today about growing sweet potatoes from seeds. I've seen that. I haven't seen anybody grow any. But he said, hey, it's just $10. I'm just going to see. That's how you learn. You experiment, right, cousins? Or something like that. I love how he has his lives and he calls everybody his family members, cousins, or whatever. That's why people are attracted to him, because he's not up there lying, saying he grew these seeds, sweet potato seeds, and he grew this humongous harvest. He's saying, hey, what's $10? That's how I'm going to learn. I'm going to try it out. I don't even think it's going to work, but I'm going to try it. That's what you do. That's what you do. You don't fake it. You don't imitate and copy off of somebody else, because people will see right through you. They'll know when you're not sincere. They'll know when you're faking. If you don't have the experience, you cannot fake it until you make it. Not with this YouTube game, because you have so many trolls out there just waiting for you to say anything wrong so they can criticize you. But you got to have tough skin too. You got to let it go in one ear and out the other ear if it's not true. And don't let anybody drag you into a war. Because after a while, you don't know who's the fool. I got a sign in my beauty shop in my garage. I used to have it in the mall. My mother said, she gave me this sign because beauty salons and barbershops have a stigma of people arguing, whether it's good or bad. And the sign she gave me, it says, it has two men, might be a lady, I don't know, but they look angry and they're like facing each other like that. And then you can tell that they're arguing. And the sign said, I'm gonna make sure I get it right. Don't argue with a fool, because after a while, people will not know who is who. So don't let nobody drag you into a fight on YouTube, because I think it says more about your character than you realize. If you're confident in what you do and you know that you're out here just trying to put out good content to help people and you're not just chasing money, people are going to find out. Okay? So research your topic and learn all you can, like Broke Farmer 76 was saying today. I'm trying it to get some experience. He had another good video on, I think I watched it maybe Friday or Saturday, about, I might be wrong. I might be getting mixed up, but I think he had determined and interdeterminate tomatoes. And he did one a couple weeks ago with hybrid seeds versus heirloom seeds. That's how you build your channel, by giving them information and research it. And if you don't know the answer, don't fake it, because it'll backfire on you, especially when you're playing with somebody's food. Grow your own, eat your own. It's not hard. You can do it. If somebody tells you something wrong and you do it and your tree dies, that's all I'm going to say. Okay, so now let me go and get root shoots and garden boots. She's here in the house. Thank you. Novella is here. I think some of these wars are for attention, like hip-hop artists, beefs, I added artists, to sell records. That's right, because people will tune in to salaciousness. They want to see how low you can go, okay? So yeah, they'll tune in and listen to it, but don't fall for it, okay? Hey, Kimberly Wright, don't fall for it. Look for content. That's right, Ann. Ann Dale Homestead in the colony said, and she's talking about Broke Farmer 76. He is something else. He is the same no matter what. She said, love Broke Farmer 76. Hey, Peanut Peppers. Yes, Mama, just get her done. No matter how, just do it. Birdie's Blooms, good evening. Thank you for being here. At home with Cherie. I haven't seen any wars or fighting. Yikes. This is supposed to be fun, inspirational, and educational. I agree. Okay, so I think I got everybody. And when you are yourself, people know you are genuine. Yes, that was one of the emails that I got today. Okay, so now I talked about what I wanted to talk about. As far as that question about how to be a content creator. If you notice, I don't even put how many subscribers on. I don't have that function on. Because to me, it's not about subscribers. I know I would never be one of those 100,000 subscribed channels. One, I can't do all these videos every day. I physically can't do it, and I can't do it with my products and my food forest. Don't have the stamina to do all of that. Something is going to be neglected. So I know I would never have that channel. But I have just enough that I feel fulfilled. I feel like I'm working. I feel productive. I feel like I'm doing what I'm supposed to be doing. And I feel like I'm helping people. So, more power to all that scratching and clawing trying to get to the top. I'm not getting caught up into that. Okay, now, so I answer that. Be yourself, content creator. Don't be looking at the numbers or how many subscribers you have. That's why I block it out, like I said. Just be yourself and offer something that people can use. Now, the next question I want to talk about, the young lady was so sweet, I'm not calling out nobody's names, but she sent me 3 pictures of her peach tree. And some of you are getting ready to smile, because I know you remember me saying, I've killed some fruit trees. Expensive ones, cheap ones, bare root ones, ones in pots, some that cost as less as $6, $9 when sale at the big box stores. I did what Broke Farmer 76 did. I experimented with some of those peach trees that I've killed. Okay, so she sent me a picture of her tree in a container when it was dormant. She sent me a picture of her tree when it came out of dormancy. And she sent me a picture of how it looks today. And it was real yellow. And she told me, don't say it's you, whoever you are, okay? Because I know you're a content creator. Don't do that. And I'm not going to call you out. And she told me she fertilized with fish emulsion. That was the #1 mistake. Now, let me tell you why, and I'm going to read some of this stuff to you, and some of them will go from memory about fish. Let me just tell you, peach trees do not like wet feet, so they are difficult to grow in a container, but it can be done. Okay? Now, in my garden zone 8A, Mesquite, Texas, we have a very, very rainy, hard period with high winds and a lot of rain. It's raining outside right now. So we get flooding type rain, not inside my home, because my home is kind of elevated up some, and then there's a slope in my backyard. And that's why I was having all those issues. Those of you that have been with me for a while know about how all that water that would come into my greenhouse. I'm not going to get into all that. You can watch those videos. But I have a very low area in my backyard. So when I saw the peach tree was dying, I dug it up. It was sitting in a pool of water. Contacted Stark Brothers and asked them could they give me any tips. They said they'll send me a replacement tree. However, peach tree do not like wet feet. So if you see your leaves are soft and yellow, not dry, crackly yellow-brown, soft and yellow, is getting too much water. Okay? Now, I will get your questions and you put them in all caps later. So, based upon what I saw visually in those three pictures, that the yellowing of the leaves of that peach in the container was one, water too much, or received too much water from rain. So what you can do, young lady, to correct that is to drill more holes at the bottom of the container. Where's my can? Let's pretend this is the can. Start drilling right here because your roots are not that far down. You're not going to damage your roots. Just go all the way around there with your drill and drill more holes. The next thing I'm recommending that you do, this is my scale for my products, one of them. Let's pretend this is the container. Take you something, and either you can use, what do they call those wooden things? Pallets. Put it up on a pallet or a paver or something to get it up so the law of gravity will make the water drain. Because it'll stay stagnant in there if it's closed off, if you have just holes at the bottom. So the drainage holes on the sides will help it, but also it'll help it from the bottom if you sit it on top of something. Does that make sense? Okay. The other thing you told me, you said you use fish emulsion. Fish emulsion has an NPK of 511. Peach trees only require fertilizer twice a year. And when you do fertilize them, you want that NPK to be equal numbers. Even if you are a non-organic, I was going to say farmer, but I mean to say gardener. Who is that? Hands in the dirt. I saw him putting fertilizer in while he's burying his trees. And I like the fact that he didn't bury them down real deep so that they would be swimming in water. If you're going to use chemicals, especially on your peach trees, but mostly all fruit trees, you want that NPK to be equal, like 10, 10, 10, 12, 12, 12. But peach trees specifically do not need a lot of nitrogen. They will get a blight. So, cut the fish emulsion, okay? The other thing I want to tell you, young lady, is thank you for being honest. Some people come in here with questions and they are not being honest. I'm not calling anybody out, but it's some things I know that I know that I know. And you can't flip it on me, especially if you're asking me for advice. Be honest. And that way you will become a more proficient gardener. I killed fruit trees. That's how I learned a lot about them and other gardeners on YouTube. So I have one apricot, and it's called it's not apricot, it's nectarine. It's called Sun Glow from Stark Brothers. Doing beautifully. And I have two Red Haven peach trees from Stark Brothers that are in raised garden beds. I grew them in containers the same way I just shared with the young lady that sent me the email. I had them on pallets so they can drain, and I had holes all the way around it. After they got 2 years old, I still know that I have to keep them in an environment where they don't get wet feet. So what is the best thing to do for that? It's a raised garden bed. None of my peach trees are in the ground because it's too wet here. Now, let's flip it. Come July, and that's another storm warning. Come July, there will be a drought period. So when you see your peach tree leaves doing like this, getting real limp, even though they're getting ready to go into dormancy, because we harvest our peaches in zone 8A, North Texas, the last of June. So then after it has produced what it's going to produce, it can survive during that drought period, and the leaves go from that to like that because they don't require a lot of water. So let me read something for you that I copied and pasted. Another thing you need to do is thank you so much. Another thing you need to do is to watch your chill hours when you are researching. Just don't go in the box stores and buy a tree. You want to research it. You can stop there right there in the store. I did it. When you all blessed me with some cash to replace some of my trees, I stopped right there in the store and I Googled how to grow a Lisbon lemon tree. Because I have been growing Meyer lemon trees for 6 years. I wanted to try something different. And then I learned that it does real well in my area because I didn't have my backup books with me. Can y'all see that? Growing good things to eat in Texas. Texas. Fruit and vegetable gardening. You have to hold it at a certain angle so you can see it. There you go. And y'all can go back and screenshot these later. I got one book missing. It's probably in my bedroom. And then this one. This is what I'm really getting into. Native Texas plants. Man, oh man, oh man. I went out there and I ate some of my mulberries. I let my grandkids eat them. I showed you in the last video. Now every 2 days I'm going out there in the morning eating my breakfast. They are super sweet. It was a $5 tree that I bought from a merchant on Facebook. That's supposed to be a mulberry that's native to Texas. So look in here and redo your research and get your information. Getting back to the lady about the peach tree, you have to make sure that you get a mid-chill area peach tree. One that requires chill hours ranging from 450 to 800 hours per growing season. Now we know we made it this year because we had a lot of cold weather. But if you get you a peach tree that was supposed to be grown in a colder climate and you live in a warm climate and you don't get that correct chill hours, you're going to have trouble out of that tree anyway. Another thing is you want to make sure that you get the tree that you want. Do you want a freestone peach or do you want a clean on peach? That determines what you're going to grow. What are you going to use it for? In my case, I'm going to be canning them. So I bought freestone peach trees. One that when you cut it and you break it in half, the pit, the stone, the seed, whatever you want to call it, comes out very easy. But if you have a clean one and you're growing these peaches so that you can can them, then you don't need to get that one. So that is why I chose the Red Haven peach by Stark Brothers, because 3 of these books told me that they had the right amount of cheer hours. I have the other one in my bedroom, and I'll post it later. That grows very well in my area. Okay? All right. Another thing is, talk about the chill hours, fertilization. A peach tree should only be fertilized twice a year. So those of you that are taking fish fertilizer and putting it on your tree once a month because you see somebody else doing it, you're not doing your peach tree any good. You should fertilize this peach tree once in the early spring and again once in early summer. Not every month. And it needs to be a well-balanced NPK, the same numbers, type of fertilizer. I underline something. Don't fertilize your trees when you plant them if they are baby trees, little saplings. But if you've had the tree or you've bought a mature tree, then you can put a little, like hands in the dirt, put a little fertilizer in that hole, because it's not going to be come in direct contact with the roots, is what I'm trying to say. So 1 week after you plant it, and again a month and a half afterwards, you will help your peach tree mature quicker by giving them less fertilizer because they don't require it. Okay, let me see if there's anything else. Yeah, I already said that about 10, 10, 10, 12, 12, 12. A good thing you need to know about peach trees, once you put them in the ground, a lot of you are growing them in the ground, you want to go out about 8 to 12 inches from that root ball and go around that perimeter. Now, you saw in one of my videos, because I got emails about it, where did I get it? The tree guard. I bought it from Lowe's on those apple trees. And the reason why I did that is because, one, I got a lot of weeds for some reason in that area. It might have came in potty mix or something that I used. Or the wind or the birds could have, whatever, could have scattered it there. But I wanted to protect it. And then I want to make sure that I don't put any fertilizer right there in that circumference, that circle where that mat was. You feel me? You want to go on the outskirt, 8 to 12 inches diameter around that tree, because you can cause your tree to get damaged, and you will also damage the trunk of your tree by getting that fertilizer too close. And another thing is, those roots don't need to come in contact with fertilizer. Another thing I was going to tell you. Oh, goodness. Goodness. I forgot what it was. It'll come to me later, okay? All right. Okay, I think that's it. So the tree that I bought, I needed it to have 5 weeks. The peach trees, the Red Haven peach trees. I needed, and a lot of people are mistaken about chill hours. They think chill hours mean degrees lower than 30, 32 or lower, but that's not it. It is chill hours of degrees 45 degrees and lower. That red peach Haven tree that I have, or 2 of them that I have, they need at least 900 chill hours. Okay, so that's what I do. I research. Thank you, whoever that was, for the super chat. I appreciate you. I research. I don't go based upon what nobody else tell me, and I don't want you to take what I say as scripture. I want you to watch the replay if you need to, then go back and fact check me. You remember I told you about the guy that tried to tell me in a Facebook group to cut all my Satsuma oranges off until the first 5 years? And my grandchildren and I have eaten Satsumas off of that Miho Satsuma for 2 years. This year it has over 100 on there. I don't know if they're all going to stay, but they staying on now, right now. I don't know what's going to happen. I don't count them before they hatch. Okay. Now, that brings me to this. And I'm going to call out this nursery, but I'm not going to say the name. I'm just going to say it's called Thank You Nursery. I bought 2 mature trees, apple trees. And they sent them to me, and they knew that they were not living. And I'm making a video now about the Gala apple tree that has stalled. I've decided to go ahead and cut it all the way down. Now, in the video, it may say that I'm going to cut it to about waist high, but I'm telling you now, after doing more research on it, I'm going to edit that video to make it say, or I'll highlight it, I've decided to cut that tree down. And I'm going to tell you why. Those of you that have been with me a while, you've seen me, my baby son, Andre, Jerome, his 2 children, Layla and little Chewy, and my son-in-law, David, covering up that tree every year since I had it, because it starts to bloom in February, right? We would cover it up with sheets, frost cloths. 1 year I put boiling water in 5-gallon buckets around the tree. They say that makes the cold go into the buckets and prevent the tree from getting too cold. And these were experts that said this, so I went along with it. Then I bought the old-fashioned Christmas tree decoration lights. They are called C7 and C9 that would generate the big bulbs that generate enough heat to make the temperature go up 10 degrees, between 8 and 10 degrees. That tree was budded out and had blooms in February when the polar freeze came, and it stalled right there. But I kept bending the tree, I kept scraping it back, and it stayed green. Today, when I was making the video, I noticed now that it's dying. Another thing I want to tell you is I was deceived when I got that tree. That wasn't a Stark Brothers tree. That came from a big box store. It did not tell me that it was on a rootstock. And the reason why I know it's on a rootstock is let's pretend that this is the tree. Okay, I was cutting the orange earlier. The big bark of the tree is only that tall, like a dwarf tree. But it did grow up to 14 feet high. So that tree always caused me problems. Even though we got apples, it always caused me a lot of extra work. And I told you all about health issues, about keeping it moving. But sometimes it ain't worth fighting for. I'm cutting it down. And I'm going to use that space to put other trees there. So I definitely made up my mind. Okay. I was deceived. If you want to name it the name of that nursery who ripped me off, email me and I will let you know. Speaking of email, don't email me like I'm Google. Email me if you have a question or a topic for Monday's night's chat, or if you want a prize, or if you want to know the name of the nursery. I don't want to say it in the video that ripped me off. Okay. Now, I want to talk about another gardener. His name is Rob. I think it's Ession's Family Garden. Tia, if you could put Rob's, you know what I'm trying to say, the link to his website, email, I got a brain freeze, YouTube channel. If you do that for me, I want you all to check the video he put out today. Rob used burdock like I use comfrey. It's real big leaves, and he used it to mulch. He's using it to decompose and to offer fertilizer for his trees. So you all know that I have been propagating my comfrey, and I've been growing it around my fruit trees. So now, all I have to do is chop and drop it. Chop and drop simply means I'll take my machete, chop some of it up, spread it around the fruit trees, and as it decomposes, as it rains, it will fertilize the tree. But I also do the fermented tea out of the comfrey. I use the Russian blocking 14. You cannot grow it from a seed. You must get a cutting. You can get it Amazon, eBay, or whatever. I don't sell them. People always ask me, are you selling it? And if you notice, I really don't sell anything that I grow. If I get some seeds, I'll just give them to you if I have them. But the comfrey 14, you just, let me see. I think I saved it, how to make comfrey on my PC. You grow the comfrey and harvest it. Then you want to collect it and put it in a bucket. I want you to squeeze down and get as much comfrey as you can in that 5-gallon bucket. And then you want to fill that up. I use rainwater, but you can use city water if you want to. Put a lid on it, put it behind the shed or someplace out of sight because flies will come to it. And put a brick maybe if you want to keep the water level on top of the comfrey. Let it sit for 4 to 6 weeks. The longer you let it sit, the better. And it has the balanced NPK that you need for your fruit trees and any other plant in your garden. So the more you grow comfrey, the more you grow natural fertilizers, the less you'll be dependent on chemicals. Because chemicals will deplete the soil of nutrients. Yes, it will feed your plants. And I'm not going to call any types out. But chemicals will feed your plants. But My experience has taught me if I feed my soil, I won't have to keep feeding my plants with chemicals. Okay? All right. All right. So I think that's everything that I want to cover. I think, young lady, I answered your question. If you have any other concerns, just email me again, continuing from that same email. I got something else in here. Oh, yes. If you are pre-diabetic or diabetic, I want you to know that if you have an A1C above 7.0, you are diabetic. I've been holding for 13 years at the highest I was 6.8. Now I'm holding at 6.3, so I don't take any type of medication. I control it with what I eat. I eat a lot, but I eat good stuff. So you can water bath your, I probably already said this, but you can water bath in water, okay? Or a natural sweetener if you love to have something sweet as a dessert. So that's my purpose of growing all those fruit trees. It's for my grandkids and also for me to eat better. Okay, so I've done everything that I wanted to do, and now I'm ready to answer your questions. Okay. So let me go back to my video if I can get my mouse to work. It's good to have several monitors, but sometimes it is hard to get it back on, at least for me. At home with Cherie, I love all the things that you're saying, Lady Cheryl. Thank you. When you are yourself, people know you're genuine. Very true. I haven't seen any wars. I think I read that one already. I think some of these wars are for attention. I read that already. Thank you for the peach tree tips. Somebody said they're looking for a red heavy peach tree. So the information came right on time. Why do I get peaches with brown spots? Now, that's one that I don't know yet, dear. I haven't experienced that. It has set for 8 months now. It is so good. What is this? Oh, somebody making something with sweet potato leaves. That's different. Okay. I don't know, Joyce, about the brown spots on peaches. But I do know that I use Serenade, an antifungal that I get off of Amazon for anything that, like roses that have spots, black spots, peach, fig trees. And next week I'm going to talk about, no, I'm not going to say what we're going to talk about. Because when I do that, somebody will beat me to it and take my thought and do a video. Somebody said something about a 55-gallon container. I got some of I made with sweet potato leaves and roots. Yes, sir. Lioncrest Outdoors. You can use grass clippings, weeds. I called out Echelon Family Gardening today for using the burdock. You can use anything. Anything. Ashes to ashes, dust to dust. Whatever comes out of the earth, you can ferment it and make tea. You can make worm casting tea. You can make weed tea. I'm just telling you that the Comfrey Russian Blocking 14 has the most nutrients for a liquid fertilizer than anything that we can grow. And by the way, I eat sweet potato leaves. I saute them. I like to mix them with a little spinach. And it just tastes so good with a little olive oil. Just saute sweet potato leaves. It tastes like you're eating spinach and sweet potatoes. But you're not just eating the leaves. And so you said that yours set for a long time. Yeah. In a 55-gallon drum. Okay. Okay, so somebody said that Bob Brownlee looking for that tree. Red Haven. Good. So this came on time for you. Okay. Thanks for the tips on the peach tree. I think they've been using 511. I think that's what she said. I know 511 is a slang for fish emulsion. Yeah, you wanna stop that. I'm trying to get down from an A1 of 6.5 so I can enjoy. Yes, Latanya, you'll do it. You'll do it. I know if I can go down from 6.8 to 6.3, you can do it. And she says her health is much better. Okay. Okay. Gardener 99. First one I see in all caps. Thank you, sir. My corn are full of ants. I sprayed them with dish soap and neem oil. Yes, you did the right thing. They should be okay. Once your corn tassels, then you can use a little vegetable oil on it to make sure you don't get any worms. Okay, if I skip somebody, y'all let me know. I'm looking for all caps at this point. I'm looking for all caps to make sure that I don't miss anybody. If I didn't speak to Mary Campbell already, I'm speaking to you now. Hey, Shanana, how are you doing? I think she said something about the peach trees, but it's going by so fast. Okay, I think I've answered all the questions. Wait a minute, I might have seen one in caps. Y'all forgive me. YouTube got this new format where these questions are coming in real small instead of real big the way it used to be. Yes, you don't have to have full sun for comfrey but it does grow better in full sun. Lady Cheryl, this is from Butterlight 100. Have you ever grown ground cherries? Yes, I did, ma'am. They don't. My grandkids don't like it, nor do I. Go back about 2 years ago, you'll see me growing ground cherries. My grandkids didn't like it. Okay, Cherie, put your question in again. I can't. It doesn't give me a time stamp anymore. They've changed the format. So if you put your question in again, I'll get it. Kimberly Wright, I have one in all caps, have to scroll back some. Okay, I'm going to try to go back, guys. I'm looking for Cherie, and I'm looking for the other lady. But if I don't find it, it'll be better if you were to put it in right now. Thank you, Tia, for putting essay on family gardening there. And Hands in the Dirt said he know exactly what nursery I'm talking about. Yeah, thank you. And they don't give you your money back, and they don't give you no replacement trees. They have a lot of, that you file a claim, and they give you a credit. And then I bought with my credit some tree guards, little plastic, hard plastic that you wrap around your tree. No directions, no nothing. So I would never ever buy anything there again. Yes, and it's hard to let things go, but I'm going to let it go because from the very beginning, it has always caused me problems. So why keep hanging on to it, hoping that it comes back? I'm letting it go. Okay. Hello, Joy from Gardening and Cocktails. Thank you for being here. Hey, Kiki, Urban Girl Gardening. Mary Campbell is here. Okay, so I don't see those questions, so now I'm going all the way back to the bottom. Here we go with some caps. How often should you water your peach tree in the ground? Once a week. If you get rain, don't water it at all. So I got a couple of yellow leaves. Yellow limp leaves, not crispy leaves, because we've been getting too much water. But I know if I had not put them in the raised garden bed, they would be worse. Okay? Got a lot of peaches on my plants this year. But every day when I go out there, I pick some up. And it's hard when you bought a little twig sapling and you finally see it producing more than 1 or 2 pieces of fruit and it's loaded and you get so excited and your heart beat real fast and then every day you picking up fruit. I know it's hard because I've experienced it. But once you go through this, just know you can't count your chickens before they hatch, because you're not going to get all that fruit until your trees are about 5, 6, 7 years old or older. Okay, so that's once a week is the watering, and remember, fertilize only twice a year. Okay, gardening with Bernie's. I have blueberries that the leaves have frost damage. Should I trim them off? Only if they are crispy and you pull on it and they snap and you see there's no green. You can just go ahead and prune those off. But everything else, just wait a little while longer. Okay, the next one is Butter Light 100. What grows better here in 8A? Bush beans or pole beans? Is it too hot to grow? No. Either one grows good. When I was younger, pole beans. I grow everything pole beans. But I grew them from the ground on up and have to bend and look, blah, 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 blah. So as I've gotten older, I grow bush beans because I have them in baskets. I have them in grow boxes on platforms, so I don't have to do all that bending over. Because if you have kidney disease, you already know that you already have pain in your back. Okay? Because I have polycystic kidneys. It's like little great clusters all over the inside and outside of my kidneys. That's something I inherited from my father. Okay? So yes, you can grow either pole or bush. It just depends on what your stamina is. What if you have trellises to grow them up. I love growing bush beans, vining bush beans. I love growing green beans vining up. They look so beautiful in the garden, but it was just so hard for me to harvest them. Okay. Let me go back. Pole beans or bush beans. Okay. Debbie Epps, do you find your comfrey invasive in the ground? No. I guess because I put it where it had a lot of room. If you have a small area, I'm not even going to recommend that. I was going to say put it in the container, but I'm not going to even recommend that. I'm going to tell you why. The purpose of you growing comfrey, Russian blocking 14 comfrey, is because it can do what a lot of other plants and trees can't do. It can go way down into the earth and tap out nutrients in that tarp root, like a moringa tree, like a Fuyu persimmon tree, or maybe any persimmon tree. It has a long tarp root that goes down. So I don't mind growing comfrey where it may get a little bit out of hand. For the simple reason is I'm always cutting it off and making fertilizer. The only fertilizer that I buy is garden lime, because I need to prevent blossom end rot on my peppers and my tomatoes. I buy citrus fertilizer for my citrus trees, organic, on Amazon. I've bought fish fertilizer with I think it's outside. I'm not going to interrupt. I'll put it in the comments. There's two things I'll put it in the comments. If you have anything that blooms, it's a fish fertilizer that has potassium in it, okay? And what else did I buy? That's it. So, because you guys know I use the comfrey and I use the bananas, eggshells, used coffee, worm castings. And these, the next couple things I'm going to say is not necessarily fertilizer, they're nutrients. I use azomite rock dust. I used to use Epsom salt. I don't use that. I haven't used it in about 4 or 5 years. Because the azomite rock dust have 92 minerals in it. I used to buy biochar, but you can sweep up ash out of your fireplace. But all of my garden beds have a sufficient amount of that in it. I bought biochar from Amazon. And I think that's it. So this year, I don't have to do too much. How often should you water a peach tree in the ground? Once a week. I already answered that question, but it's okay. Once a week. If it rains, don't water it. Hello, Bull. I think somebody's speaking to you. I didn't see you in here. Okay. Angela, I'm glad you're here. Thank you so much. I love you. Top, Cheryl. I retyped my question. Cherie, I'm going to find you. I'm going to find you. Southern Red Sugar. Hi, Lady Cheryl. Have you ever used those smart pots before? You mean like grow bags? I've even planted fruit trees in grow bags. I didn't like it. They're supposed to self-prune. I didn't like them. I don't use grow bags for fruit trees. But I don't not sure what you mean by smart pots. Are you talking about the ones that have a reservoir at the bottom and you don't have to water them that much, just water the reservoir? I really don't know. Okay, I'm going to go up. Because I got to find Cherie's question. She's put it in there twice, and I'm not leaving until I find it. Oh, going back to Garden 99 with your a corn with the ants. Look at it real careful to see if it has aphids. Usually when you see a lot of ants, they farm aphids. So just look and see if you got any aphid eggs. Lion Crest, you can order little small cuttings of comfrey off of eBay. Is where I got mine. I started off only 3 little small pieces. I'm going to show you a sea of comfrey in my next video. I'm still looking for all caps. I'm still looking for Cherie. And Cherie, how often do you want? A couple people asked you about me about the peach tree. Rhonda says she experienced aphid for the first time. Drown them with a full force of water, Rhonda. I know a lot of people spray a bunch of neem on. I'm telling you, it works. Just keep spraying them. Going out there like 3 days in a row. They're on my mammoth sunflowers and I got rid of them. I can't get my fruit cuttings to propagate in container soil. I dip them in root stimulator. Kimberly, right next time, all caps, hormone powder, but none have thin root. None of them have root. Any suggestions? Kimberly, right, where did you get your fruit cuttings from? Because sometimes some people give you the wrong cutting. It has to be, can't be the newest part of the plant. Sometimes they won't propagate. Thanks, Broke Farmer. Just at work, but he just stopped in for a minute. Rhonda says she had never seen anything look like it. Looks like fur. There are thousands of varieties of aphids. Thousands of colors. Okay? So, yeah. Lavender Lady says, have you ever grown a cocoa tree? No, I haven't. I haven't grown cocoa, neem, or tobacco. You just got one, okay? Check with Farmer's Almanac about that. You might get some good information. Okay, I don't know why. Cherie says she'll email me. And you're welcome to. I don't see you. I don't know why it's not showing up, Cherie. Okay, have you ever used milk to get rid of powdery mildew? Yes, butterfly light. But I have a rare strand that powdery mildew that gets like a liquid. That I used milk and water, it didn't work. I used baking soda and water, it didn't work. I used equal portions of baking soda and milk and a lot of water, it didn't work. Somebody told me to use peroxide and water, it didn't work. So, yes, if you got an ordinary strand, the answer to your question, yes, I've tried it. Yes, it can work, but I got a real funky strand that it didn't work with. Okay, Stinky Puddle Ranch is going to send somebody some comfrey cuttings. That is wonderful. Any of you all, I don't know if Broke Farmer is still in here, my nephew. They changed the format where you just got this little bitty window. And I'm going back and I'm looking for all. Hey, Ho-Een and So-Een Gardner. She says she's very late, but she'll go back and watch the replay. She got a funny name that you won't forget it. I'm all up in here. Auntie says she can't find the question either. And I don't like to Hey, Bull, I see you in here. I didn't know you were here either, friend. Thank you for being here. So, Debbie Evans, I hope I answered your question. I don't think you'll get the real benefit of comfrey if it's planted in a container. Unless that container is really, really big. And maybe you cut the bottom out so it can go down deep into the dirt. My eyes just lit up like that because I just thought about that. That may work. But I love the way the comfrey looks. The Russian Blockade 14, oh, it has these beautiful little flowers that hang down like little bells. It's so pretty. Lady Cheryl, why are these black spots on the tips of my pear tree leaves? Thank you. That could be the beginning of blight. If you've given your pear trees too much nitrogen, that fish emulsion, I'm going to tell you all something. I have a confession. Years ago, when I had my fruit trees in those grow bags and on pallets, so get them off the ground, I thought my neighbor had sprayed some type of weed killer, insecticide or whatever, and the wind whipped through it and got it in my yard and gave my trees blight. But the more I learned, the more I researched, I now know that, and I never did confront them. I would never do that anyway. But I really thought that he unintentionally did something to cause damage to my trees. The more I researched and the more I learned, I realized now that I was giving my fruit trees fish emulsion. And it was too much nitrogen. And it just started turning brown and brown. It starts off at the tips, then it gets more and more. If you look at the last video, I told you guys, I don't know if this blight on my apple trees, but when I see brown leaves, it starts off at the tip, I just take them off. And I don't put them in my compost. I make sure that I dispose that waste in with my regular garbage. Okay. And pear trees cannot have too much nitrogen. Yes, Hanson Durst said he likes sweet potato leaves too. My little Bria went back to school. She loved them. Okay, I went all the way back up to the top. Now I'm going all the way to the bottom. See if I can find anything. Tommy said, hey, Tommy, I didn't know you were here. Thank you for being here. Yes, yeah, I might have saw you earlier. Forgive me if I didn't speak. Yes, you have researched things, and you find out what works in your area. Now, let me show you some more books, because I showed you those books, 3 books. If you're wanting to learn how to contain fruit trees, I show this a lot, but you need to get it. There you go. And it's Grow a Little Fruit Tree. After all of this rain, I got this on Amazon. I'm going to do some heavy pruning because some stuff is getting out of control where I can't even walk through the pathways. If you want to learn how to grow food all year round, here is Elliot Coleman's 4 Season Harvest. This book right here inspired me to get a greenhouse. So I have to grow food all year long to stay healthy. Now, I don't know if you all noticed that I'm getting into a lot of perennials. It's another nice little book. Here's one, Western Gardens, because Texas is Western. Edibles. I like this one. I see a question. I'm going to stop and get that in a minute. This is an old book. It's the Homes and Garden. I wrote this out. A lot of good information. Because the information doesn't change with gardening. It might be a little fad, somebody trying to push through a YouTube channel, but it's all the same, guys. And this one was given to me by one of my subscribers, to my sister in Christ, Cheryl, who has the greenest thumb I know. God bless you. I'm not going to call out her name, but this is a wonderful book. It is the all-new encyclopedia to organic gardening. Research. It's a big, thick book. I'm telling you. I used to have this one in my bed. So when I'm watching somebody and they say something and I don't understand what they're talking about, then I go look it up. The terminology. Okay, so I'm going to go back and I'm going to get those questions that I saw. Tommy says she needs that perennial book because she received a lot of them for Mother's Day. Wonderful. Bull said he would not give his trees fish emulsion. And that stuff will kill your fruit trees. Thank you, Bull. And I know you got a huge food forest. I've been saying it, but I have to say it on the low because people mistake me. But I think like the more they've been watching my lives and they know I come from a sincere place, they're more apt to believe because you have this competitiveness. And I'm going to tell you another thing about fish emulsion. It brings all the flies and the nastiness to the yard. Now, comfrey stinks, but it dissipates very quickly. Fish emulsion brings all the squirrels running into my yard. So I use it sparingly. Only when I know I have a nitrogen deficiency, like in corn or something like that that needs a lot of nitrogen. So that fish emulsion, I agree with Bull. I didn't say it'll kill your fruit trees, but I'm going to go out on a limb and say it. It will kill your fruit trees. I know. Why I know? Because I did what? Killed a lot of fruit trees. I can laugh a lot about it now. Butterlight, here's your question. Lady Cheryl, what is your favorite fig variety for growing here in North Texas? Butterlight, I only have one type of fig tree. And it's the brown turkey fig. And I don't have enough room to venture out with more. I heard, though, and you research this, okay? I heard that the LSU purple and gold works real good in our area. Well, I will tell you this about the brown turkey fig tree, and I'm going to feature it in my video. 2 years in a row, not just because it got 3 degrees, because it did it before previous year. One of my trees died all the way to about maybe 6 inches off the ground. And it did it again in the polar Arctic freeze. The other one on this side of the garden, close to the prayer garden, half of it died. I got like 3 branches and the rest of the branches are dead. I'll make a video on it and show you. But I started those fig trees out the same way somebody asked me a question about something about rooting it, putting it in the hormone rooting powder and sticking it into some soil. I bought them off of eBay, pencil-sized cuttings, and they matured into trees. Go back and look at my fruit tree list. So that's why I know that sometimes people send you cuttings that are not appropriate for rooting. They have to be on the tree a couple of years. I think that's the rule. Don't quote me on that one. Oh, Auntia, Bell Gardner peach tree has borders. Trash the tree or save it. Bell, I'm sorry, but I'm going to tell you to trash it. I'm just learning not to invest too much of my time over serious stuff. The only reason why I kept the trees that had the blight from the fish emulsion is because my research told me that keep cutting them off. Okay, I'm going to get that. Lady Cheryl Food Product. For those that are new to growing fruit trees, what would be the, doggone it. I'll get it in a minute. I'm sorry, guys. I was trying to get that question real quick. Because, yeah, my research told me that you could cut blight out. Just keep cutting the tree, cutting the tree, cutting the tree. So I did that for 3 years. And I got a lot of pears on this tree that I was really working with. So, but borders and hoarders, that's a little bit different. That's systematic, and they're up in the tree. And I say, let it go. If it's a container, throw the whole container away. If it's in the ground, dig out about 6 or 8 inches around the perimeter of that tree and all the soil with it and bag it up and throw it away. That's my opinion. Now, don't come back 2 years from now and say, well, I decided to save it and you were wrong. Because I'm not saying that I have the scripture plan for my answers. I'm just telling you what I would do. Okay? Gardening with Bernie. Telling somebody thank you or take care. Okay. I hope I've answered your question. Now, let me tell you all about my special tonight. For those of you that's getting ready to go. You all know that I make natural soy wax and essential oil candles, right? This is lavender and it smells delicious. I have a trio on sale. These candles sell for $25. Where's my website? Okay. If you go to the gift section, gift set page, you'll see that I put it on there, a candle trio. Now, these candles sell for $25. I have them on sale for $17.99. But I am selling 3 of them, the peace, the lemongrass, and the lavender. Plus, you're getting a free or discounted hand sanitizer. So that's 3 candles and the sanitizer. And you're getting all of that, which is a $61.95, the sale price of the candle, for $49.99. Okay? 3 10-ounce candles, lavender, peace, and lemongrass, and the hand sanitizer, all for less than $50. Okay? I think that's a great sale. I'm going to tell you why I'm doing it. I made cases of candles. I thought I was going to go to my son's barbershop and sell them for Mother's Day. He surprised his family and took them to L.A. and kids, his wife and 2 kids to San Diego Zoo and all that over Mother's Day. And I didn't go up there. I didn't want to go up there when he wasn't there. So I have them. So I'm putting them on sale. Okay? So I hope some of y'all will take me up on that offer. It'll go off Tuesday at midnight. Okay, so let me go back and see if I have any more questions. Don't forget to check the sale out. Thank you, Tommy. Somebody put up the fruit tree playlist. Thank you for being here, Gardening with Bernie. Yes, thank you, Growing with Hudson. Tallahassee, Florida has a gas shortage. I think it's going to spread. I called all of my kids and told them about it because I get a lot of stuff, information before they know it. Fill up. You don't know if it's going to reach the area that you are living in. Those squirrels have been trying to steal Bull's chickens. Oh, man. So go ahead on and fill up. I don't have to because I don't hardly go nowhere. And I got like a 3/4 of a tank in there. So I'm not going to be going. But some areas are running out of gas. Okay, here's one. Grafted Meyer lemon trees at Home Depot. Are they worth it or should you wait to find a grafted one? It must be ungrafted, you're saying. But the answer is get a grafted tree if you're going to buy one new. Or if you're not, you might as well just get a cutting from someone. I would get a cutting one. And make sure that it's not a dwarf. Because I bought some Meyer lemons that were on the dwarf stock. And the stock is either dwarf or normal, but it's usually a sour orange or a bitter orange that they use for the root stock. So those of you that had issues with your lemon and your lime trees through the freeze, if it died and the only place that it was still growing was out of the root stock, that's why I went ahead and destroyed mine, because I didn't want a bitter orange or a sour orange tree. But that is a good question. I would buy one grafted. That's my opinion. That is not gospel. Okay? All right. So I think I called out everybody that I wanted to talk about. For those that are new to growing fruit trees, somebody wants to know a suggestion for the first fruit trees to add to their garden. That would depend on where you live, your garden zone. And I recommend that you check with Stark Brothers and Ison's Nursery. Because you would put it in your zone and they'll tell you what's good for your area. Then if you want to cross-reference it, go to your local extension office or farmersalmanac.com. And where you start getting correlation of the same responses, that's what I would buy. I would not buy just what's at your Walmart or your, well, I shouldn't have said that. I wouldn't buy stuff in the big box stores. See, I run my mouth too much and I say too many things that gets me in trouble. That's why I'll never have a real big channel. Because I'm going to tell the truth. Yes, Gardener 99. Also grow what you like. That's a very good answer. Very good answer. Except if you like something that won't grow in your area. But you are right. You need to keep that in mind. Thank you for contributing. Eat what you grow. Grow your own, eat your own. It's not hard. You can do it. Okay, everybody. I think I covered everything I wanted to cover. I tried to answer as many questions as I could. If you had a question and you want me to talk about it in next Monday night's chat, or if I have some free time during the week, feel free to email me. And you're in Florida. Oh, you got it made, honey, because you can grow mango, papaya, grow what you like. But just make sure you get a tree that has the right amount of chill hours for your area. I know that the Florida King peach tree is a good one for people that I see that are in Garden Zone 9 and 10. Okay, everybody? Thank you so much for being here. You guys know that I love you. Thank you, Growing with Hudson. And you know that God loves you too. Good night, everybody. Email me for next week's topics. And don't forget that special. That's a really good deal. When you go on and you add it all up, you'll see that I'm giving you some nice candles at a very, very reasonable price. Good night, Cherie. Good night, Ann. Good night, Tommy. Thank you for being a wonderful moderator. Good night, Audrey. Good night, Antia. Good night, Latanya Lewis. Excuse me. Good night, Andrea Lucas, Mika Parks, Maureen Williams, Unicorn Lady. Good night. Good night, Barb Brownlee. Thank you. I appreciate all of you all. Good night, everybody. Take care. Peace out.